BRZ Prisoners of War Missing in Action Tribute. It sports a digital urban camouflage vinyl wrap with a accelerated performance 400 turbo kit and multiple additions from D2BD Motorwerks themselves, including a drilled slotted rotor, gas shocks for the hood, yellow speed coilovers, and soon to be added and installed today through our video, a lighted LED garnish. The garnish will install right here in place of the current OEM one. Now what's unique about this garnish is the background can be paint matched to any FRS or BRZ. The center will remain as so for the lighted functionality. These wires, for red we have the positive, and for black we have ground and chassis. These will later on in the video connect to a small control box included in the instructions with all the parts needed. Very easy application, very easy installation. Let's jump right to it.
Note, though there may be some resistance, this garnish will pop out. Start by opening the door. Gently take your fingers along the edge where the door meets the garnish and start applying pressure. You'll notice some resistance. This is because there is adhesive behind this section of the garnish itself, the original garnish. We are going to start applying pressure by pulling both ends evenly, and you'll hear the adhesive start to separate. While pulling, you'll hear the pop. Notice, on the back of these are clips. You'll want to save these clips by sliding them out. After you have removed the OEM garnish from the vehicle, begin by placing it next to the D2BD Motorwerks version. Note, both garnishes are identical in shape and design. We will have to remove the tabs from all slots on the OEM garnish in order to apply them to the identical slots on the D2BD Motorwerks version. I have left one tab to demonstrate on how this is to be removed so we do not damage the garnish or the tab itself. Though you can use two hands, I will demonstrate with one. Begin by applying pressure with your hand to the garnish itself. I am using a carpeted backdrop so that I do not scratch the back of the garnish. Take your thumb, apply light pressure, and they come right out with a click. These tabs are simple in design. They can only go one direction. As you can see, it's wider on one, narrow on the other. This clip will go in, narrow side, and slide right in with a click. Do this to all slots on the new garnish. For this next step, you will be installing the garnish itself on the vehicle. You will have needed to remove the 3M backing from the adhesive on the garnish itself, as well as removing the old adhesive from the vehicle. This can be achieved with any adhesive remover, though it is recommended that you use Goo Gun. Goo Gun is a citrus-based formula and does not damage the vehicle's paint. Goo Gun can be purchased at any automotive retailer, such as Advanced Auto Parts, or AutoZone, or O'Reilly's, or even Walmart. We will be taking the wires in hand and the garnish and preparing to guide it through the top hole and into the vehicle fender. This will be dealt with later on when we connect the wires. Apply pressure and you will hear the clips begin to take. the garnish is installed. For this next step, you will be installing the module to the red and black wires on the back of the garnish. Prescribed to connect the wiring are heat shrinks. Heat shrinks allow for proper connection between wire to wire, but require heat in order to shrink them, as the name says. What I chose to use are crimps. Crimps allow for the same type of connection. However, you crush the metal within the crimp itself in order to connect one wire to the other. Please connect black wire on the back of the garnish to black wire on the back of the module, red wire on the back of the garnish to red wire on the back of the module. On this next step, we will take the wire extensions provided and connect them to the proper colors via the same method we did with the black and red wiring behind the module. Do so now. For this step, you will be installing the module ground chassis connector to the vehicle. This is located between the vehicle shock and the battery. You will need a size 10mm socket, extension, and ratchet. Next step. Take the yellow and red extension wire from the module and feed it through the frame of the vehicle. Continue feeding it through the vehicle until you get to this side. Stick your hand in and receive the wiring. Pull the wiring out and await the next step. The next step, you will apply pressure to the side marker until it pops out. There are clips on the back. Pull this out and draw out the wire. For this step, you will be taking the yellow wire that you have previously routed through the fender well with the red wire and routing only the yellow wire down through to the side marker connector. To make this easier without removing the tire and the wheel well lining, you will need adaptive tools such as a coat hanger. This will only be used to push the wiring to where you can reach it underneath. Do so now. For this step, now take a red connector from your D2BD Motorwerks garnish kit and apply it only to the white wire. You may need to push back the conduit in order to allow enough room between the connector and the conduit. This red connector slides right on the white wire. Do not slide it on both wires. The black wire is a ground. The white wire is a power wire. Now, take your yellow wire from your module with the exposed end and insert it into the secondary slot on your red connector. You must make sure that the yellow wire is going to be pinched by this metal bracket behind the connector. When you are ready, ensure that the black wire will not be pinched and close the red connector. fully allow for penetration of the metal connector within this red connector, you will need to use a tool such as a needle nose. This will allow pressure to be applied between this closing door and the base frame. It will penetrate both wires, allowing both wires to be connected. Do this now. After you have pinched the red connector and everything appears to be secure, you will reconnect your side marker to the connector and insert it back into the vehicle. Do this now. For this next step, we will be conducting a lighting test. Do note that you still have one red wire remaining. This is not necessary to conduct the test. Take this red wire and set it upon a non-conductive surface, such as this fuse box cover. Enter the vehicle, and adjust the light control up one. Exit the vehicle, and if you have done things correctly, you will see your beautiful new garnish lit, as well as your side indicator, and if you have a BRZ, your accident lighting. Congratulations. This next step is optional. The reason I say that is this red wire is not necessary to the function of your garnish lighting. Should you wish not to continue any further, secure this wire properly. Never allow any exposed wire to come in contact with any metal surface of the vehicle. This wire may be hot, and if it comes in contact with the metal surface of the vehicle, it will ground out. In the event it grounds out, your LED garnish may turn off, or it may not operate. To continue on, view the next step. To continue with this optional method of garnish lighting, you will need 2 extra connectors, much like the ones we use on the side indicator, your red wire, and you will need to withdraw the blinker assembly from the corner of your ballast. This can easily be accomplished sticking your hand in, going to the corner, finding the connector and twisting it and pulling it out. We will be connecting the extra connector to this white wire like before on the side indicator, sticking the red wire through and pinching it. Do so now. If this optional method worked for you, you will notice your garnish assembly indicate upon the lock and unlock functions of your key fob. Please try this now. Thank you for watching this instructional video on how to install D2BD Motorwerks garnish assembly. If you have any further accessory requests or performance requests, please visit D2BDMotorwerks.com.